Welcome to the Phoenix Prosperity Podcast, where wealth meets legacy. Join your host, Tim Fergestad, as we explore the journeys of Phoenix's finest to success and beyond.
Hello, this is Tim Fergestad. Thank you for joining us. I'm very pleased to have Sophia Femi with me here today. Sophia is the founder of A Reflection Within Healing, a sanctuary for those seeking to heal and transform their lives. As a seasoned writer, Sophia has authored popular ebooks, journals, courses, and articles that inspire self-awareness, growth, and transformation. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So why don't you talk about your programs a little bit? You have a digital program version of it, as well as I think the other stuff I mentioned. Can you give us a snapshot of your business right now?
Yeah, of course. So, we have a physical location. It's a hidden gem in downtown Phoenix. It's inside of the expansive building. It used to be the Herb building on Central. There is a physical office where we do provide holistic services for people who are looking to transform their lives by releasing trauma that's stored in the body from, post-traumatic trauma, past childhood trauma, or also to break habits. So we offer hypnotherapy, Reiki, chakra balancing, and life and mindset coaching.
Okay. All those are very powerful and can really transform people's lives, have a huge impact. So that's great. I have to ask, what's the origin story for this work?
So I've always had interest in emotions, because whenever anything emotional would come up for me, especially if it was a negative emotion, I didn't like the way it felt. So I always want to research how to not feel that way. And it led to the mindset. Everything led to changing your mindset. And so I was always obsessed with studying the psychology of the mind. And that started at a young age, maybe 20 or maybe even teens, early teens, like 17, 18. But then at 25, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. That's an autoimmune disease with no cure as of right now. And
a tough one to diagnose, really, because often it's a diagnosis of exclusion.
Yeah, it is.
Start ruling out things, and there's not a lot of great gold standards confirming it until you have some plaques or something, all right?
Yeah, it took a while. I mean, I experienced a lot of physical symptoms where I was getting numbness and my body and my legs and my hands just tingling and stuff like that. And so I was I was originally told that I had a stroke at 25 because of the symptoms and the I guess whatever they did, whatever kind of test they did, they said, well, we see this, it's not usually the stroke is on the right side or the left side, yours is in the middle, but it's mild. So, but the symptoms never went away. So anyway, long story, I just kept, going to figure out what it was. And at that young age, they told me I was going to be disabled for the rest of my life and that I was going to have to give myself a shot every other day. They sent me home with a handicap plate. They sent me home with a walker, shower chair. And I've always been a resilient person, always been the person that feels like I'm not going to let anything defeat me. So that's when I went on my journey of healing naturally because, all of the medication.
All the medication?
All of the medications that they were prescribing for that had a side effect of death or something would cause more symptoms that I was experiencing.
For sure. Yeah. They snowball, which is tough for sure. And it sounds like you maybe have there's different forms of MS and relapse and remitting is kind of one of the categories. So you've managed to find some balance dealing with it apparently.
Yeah, I haven't taken any medication since 2005.
Nice.
Yeah. That's the awesome feeling. So, just all natural modalities and, I, try to live a pretty healthy lifestyle.
Right. Autoimmune
Yeah.
diseases are up in our culture in incidence by a lot, and it's often thought to be environment, often diet, right? So it's great that
Yeah.
you can control that
Yes, it is. It's awesome. And that's
and
why I
help
have
people now, right?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's why I have a passion to let other people know that you don't have to suffer, because, the medication and the pharmaceuticals are at an all-time high, and, it's just not helping us.
Right. So can you share a little bit more about some of the different ways you help other people and with your when you founded and a reflection within healing and what are some of your popular I know you have your digital program, but just sort of what's occupying most of your time right now?
So most of my clients come for hypnotherapy. Um, Usually they've tried talk therapy, traditional therapy, pretty much everything else. And they're like, well, I want to try this. What is this? What is hypnotherapy? And that's the bulk of it. But usually, because I know that energy is part of it, I always usually tend to add in the Reiki. So, those two things are the main things. And also, often enough, the chakra balancing as well.
Okay. So you we we spoke a little bit before that we started the recording the show. That trauma. Go ahead and talk about the three sort of foci that you offer.
Okay, so I do focus my expertise is in trauma, so helping individuals release past trauma that's stored in the nervous system. So the program and all of the services that we offer at a Reflection Within are based around releasing the trauma from the nervous system. And also, we have a program that is releasing the trauma surrounding relationships as well as finances, the three main issues that we face today in society.
Sure. And can you speak to each of those independently? How the sort of services you provide may differ based off of the individual? And the name of the your company is perfect, right?
Yeah,
It's because whatever past stories or events we're dealing with, but also the way we frame them and think about them, and the stories we tell ourselves about them dictate a lot of our behaviors moving forward.
yeah, absolutely. I like to say, just like we shower our physical bodies every day, our internal needs to be cleansed as well. So getting rid of that stored trauma. A lot of times when we experience any type of traumatic situation, whether it be abuse, car accidents, whatever that trauma may be, relationship trauma, um, finances, sometimes, people have gambling issues, things like that. Those traumatic experiences, if you don't address it at that initial time that it happens, then it gets stored. It gets stored in the nervous system. It gets stored in the body. And then those responses, those things that are stored in the body, they show up in your everyday experiences and in relationships, how you respond, how you, communicate, um, your emotional triggers, all of those things are affected by the trauma that's stored in the body. So every day we're operating at a fight or flight where our body is used to operating that way. Once you finally release that, you get a sense of
Yes.
peace within the body, true rest. True rest within the nervous system is really it's really hard to explain it because you have to experience it. It's just something that you can't explain. People feel like we have to always do something. Like rest is really important.
Right. And it's a difficult cycle to
True
break
rest.
sometimes too, because there's feedback loops in there, right? And you don't sleep well, so you don't have a good day, so you're stressed out, so you don't sleep well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And sleep is important as well. And, interrupted sleep patterns, all of that plays a part in your everyday life, with the way you show up, and also, people have dreams that they want to, accomplish, and stored trauma affects that. It hinders you.
Yep. I like your line on we wash our external bodies regularly, but we don't clean out the interior, the baggage back in the mind that we're avoiding or maybe not even aware of, that stuff is there and it has a big impact.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, I like that line. So, reflecting on your journey, what do you wish you would have known sooner about success earlier in your life?
I wish I would have known sooner to address the trauma, the experiences immediately. And, because we tend to bury things and, just keep going with everyday life. I call it sweeping it under the rug,
Right.
And so address those issues immediately, because when you put a Band-Aid on it, that's it. Those things, you tend to bleed all of your emotions out on other people, your children, your family members.
Right. You can sometimes it's really obvious. You meet some people, they have some pretty striking behaviors and they may not even remember why, right? They just have some internal emotional, as you say, the joke used to be you'd push your feelings down and you could hear the bomb ticking.
Yes, it's like a bomb. It's like a ticking time bomb. You're gonna explode eventually. You can't, you know, push things down, because eventually it's gonna come up.
Yep. Yep. So how is it different dealing with say trauma versus, you said, finances?
Yeah. So, well, with our economy today and the inflation that we deal with, a lot of times people go have overspending, or we have to sacrifice something to pay for something else. So we get into debt. Those things are also limiting beliefs. Those are past traumas, from, you know, what we're taught surrounding money, however you were brought up with finances. So there's a lot of financial trauma that we deal with. It hinders success.
Sure. So it sounds like you use a lot of the same techniques to deal with the different topics.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We use the same techniques to deal with pretty much all of the issues. We have break habits, stop smoking, lose weight, all of that.
Okay. Okay. Also, in this day and age, there's some interesting changes with AI, by the way, with such therapies and stuff. It turns out that some people respond better to digital platforms because they're a little more open. They don't want to share with some of their inner feelings or thoughts with other people. But if it's a program, then they're a little more open and they actually dig a little deeper and get better results. And you have a digital product or service as well, right?
Yes, I do. And it was inspired actually by the feedback from my clients, because, they've experienced talk therapy, they've experienced the traditional method, and it's a lot of anxiety to face someone and talk about the issues that you're experiencing. Also, after you have a session with me, hypnotherapy or Reiki, it's instant gratification. You're going to feel good right away. At some point, that's going to run out, and then there's going to be work that you're going to still need to continue to do.
Right.
And a lot of that work really is facing yourself and doing like the shadow work. And that's where people are afraid to see, and also see it come up in front of other people. So if you can be in the comfort of your home and, cry it out and, express your emotions without an audience, then a lot of people prefer to do it that way. So that's
Right.
why I created the program.
Okay. So it's a series of exercises they can go through at their own pace, and it has some structure, but also maybe is there some accountability or check-in times where they circle back and discuss the progress they've made or haven't made, depending on if they opened that door of skeletons or not.
Yeah. So, okay. So the program includes a ebook. The ebook is information because a lot of people
Right.
have a negative connotation surrounding hypnotherapy. Also miseducation and also not educated on Reiki as well. So the ebook is education on
Okay.
what those modalities are, how we use them. Also, it explains trauma and how it affects your body and the nervous system and how it affects you financially and how it affects you and your relationships. So there's the ebook, and then there's a workbook that is something that you can use at your own leisure. There's exercises in there, affirmations, journal prompts. But the program itself, there's 3 modules. The first module is releasing the trauma from the nervous system. So it guides you through that. The second module is releasing the financial trauma. And the third module is the relationship, to release the trauma surrounding the relationships. Included in that is also 3 hypnotherapy. Well, there's a technique called Reiki hypnofusion. This is what I call it because it's hypnotherapy with Reiki infused in the session.
Okay.
So there's 3 of those sessions that are included. They're professionally recorded by me. And those hypnotherapy sessions are for the same thing: relationship, nervous system, and finances. And once you join the program, if you do get the program, it is self-guided, so you can do it at your own pace. But I do have a Facebook community.
Nice.
We also have a private group where only the members that have taken the program, we meet once a week on Monday, where I'll come on and discuss, answering questions, discuss the modules and any concerns that the participants may have, and questions, anything, we're there.
Okay. Yeah, that's where you bring the wisdom, I imagine, because the ebook and stuff bring the knowledge. That's something. What's the line? Oh, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing that it doesn't belong in a fruit salad.
I haven't heard that, but that is awesome. That is
right. So they can get the information, but the real gains are going through the program and the workbook and really thinking and spending the time and reflecting and doing the work there, but also coming back and measuring yourself from where you were before and gauging your progress. And sometimes you need some external eyes to help you with all that.
Well, everybody says doing the work, and that is what it is, doing the work, because you have to work to release these things, to cleanse what the internal body, like we cleanse every day. You have to get in the shower, you have to wash, you have to, exercise and move. You have to do the same thing with their internal body. So
Right.
you have to exercise it with therapy, whether it's traditional therapy, holistic therapy, whatever route you go is necessary.
Right. There's a lot of easy distractions nowadays to avoid doing that work.
Yes, so many distractions. But, this is why I tell my clients, you have to choose your heart, because it may be hard to live, with the trauma, but, it may be hard to cleanse it. But once you get on the other side, it's all worth it. It's worth it to have a peaceful life. It's worth it to experience true rest in the body and the nervous system, because rest is to go to sleep. That's not true rest.
Right. That's one of the things I studied a fair amount of back when I was doing biomedical research, and it's like, well, even just sleep itself, just because you're unconscious for 7 hours doesn't mean you got restful sleep.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Peaceful, restful sleep is very, very special.
Yes. Like, you know how to say sometimes when you wake up, you wake up tired. You
Yeah.
didn't get rest.
Yeah. I'm getting older. I wake up, I hurt myself somehow when I'm sleeping some nights. Like, how'd I hurt my arm? I was dumb. Anyway. So, thank you for all that. Do you have any particular plans or anything coming up in the next 12 months or goals that you're excited about you want to share?
Yeah, so of course I have goals. I do want to expand a reflection within. I do want to open it up to more service specialties as well as the providers of those specialties. So that's something that that's in the works for the long term. Well, for the near future actually. And yeah, I'm gonna be creating more programs as well, you know, and offering more programs. Also, I will be speaking on my social media channel once a week with just different, you know, information and topics regarding trauma and, you know, just everyday life situations.
Okay. The ways that you can share with more people and scale is great too. That was my next question. Can you let us know how people can find you and get connected to you if they're on social media or your company directly?
Yeah, so I do have a website. My website is a reflectionwithin.com. On my website, you can book an appointment. You can email me. You can reach out to me. My social media is a reflection within. Instagram is at a reflection within. Facebook is a reflection within. LinkedIn is everything. Everything is a reflection within. So
okay, excellent.
All of the social media, TikTok.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, very much appreciate your time today. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Thank you, Sophia, for joining me today. We appreciate you sharing your story and your insights into healing and success and impact in people's lives here in Phoenix.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Inspired by our guests? Visit PhoenixProsperityPodcast.com/guest and join us on the show and share your success story with Tim. The spotlight awaits.